Hi. I'm a little bit tired. I did three paintings last night, um, so I'm a little worn out, and I don't feel like I can read a full chapter ahead in the Plague tonight, but I wanted to read you one or two of poems instead, like I did with the Carl Sandburg, just to kind of give you a bedtime story, even though I'm not reading ahead in the book that we've been reading. And I want to read a Margaret Walker poem from July of 1938. Now, she was a black woman poet during the Depression, obviously. This poem's called "The Struggle Staggers Us." Our birth and death are easy hours like sleep, and food and drink. The struggle staggers us for bread, for pride, for dignity. And this is more than fighting to exist, more than revolt and war and human odds. This is a journey from me to you. There is a journey from the you to me. A union of the two strange worlds must be. Ours is a struggle from a too warm bed, too cluttered with a patience full of sleep. Out of this blackness we must struggle forth, from want of bread, pride, of dignity, struggle between the morning and the night. This marks our years and settles to our plight. She's very good. I they're having a discussion out there. I wanted to read another one. From Sandburg. I read Grass and several others to you from him. And I wanted to read another, if I can find it. Give me a second here. I know this is like... me jumping around and talking. Hi, Jackie. And so I'm trying to find a specific one here. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so back to Carl Sandburg. I'm trying to find one from the right year. Here we go. Okay, so this is 1915. This is World War I related, not plague related, flu related, or any of that. And it's called I Am the People, the Mob. I am the people, the mob, the crowd, the mass. Do you know that all the great work of the world is done through me? I am the working man, the inventor, the maker of the world's food and clothes. I am the audience that witnesses history. The Napoleons come from me, and the Lincolns. They die, and then I send forth more Napoleons and Lincolns. I am the seed ground. I am a prairie that will stand for much plowing. Terrible storms pass over me, and I forget. The best of me is sucked out and wasted, and I forget. Everything but death comes to me and makes me work and give up what I have, and I forget. Sometimes I growl and shake myself and spatter a few red drops for history to remember, and then I forget. When I, the people, learn to remember, when I, the people, use the lessons of yesterday and no longer forget who robbed me last year, who played me for a fool, then there will be no speaker in all the world say the name, the people, with any fleck of a sneer in his voice, or any far-off smile of derision. The mob, the crowd, the mass will arrive then. Pretty strong. He, of course, was a labor Unionist supporter. And this was at the beginning of World War II, or World War I, so. Then I want to read a pretty deep one. This is the second, during the third wave of the Spanish flu, the Kansas flu, 1919, and it's called The Right to Grief. I feel like it's pretty appropriate right now. Carl Sandburg. To certain poets about to die, take your fill of intimate remorse, perfumed sorrow, over the dead child of a millionaire, and the pity of death refusing any check on the bank which the millionaire might order his secretary to scratch off and get cashed. Very well, you for your grief, and I for mine. Let me have a sorrow of my own if I want to. I shall cry over the dead child of a stockyard hunkie. His job is sweeping blood off the floor. He gets $1.70 a day when he works, and it's many tubs of blood he shoves out with a broom day by day. His 3-year-old daughter, in a white coffin that cost a week's wages. Every Saturday night he will pay the undertaker 50 cents until the debt is wiped out. The hunkie and his wife and the kids cry over the pinched face, almost at peace in the white box. They remember it was scrawny and ran up high doctor bills. They are almost glad it is gone, for the rest of the family will now have more to eat and to wear. Yet before the majesty of death they cry around the coffin and wipe their eyes with red bandanas and sob when the priest says, "God have mercy on us all." I have a right to feel my throat choke about this. You take your grief and I mine, see? Tomorrow there is no funeral, and the hunkie goes back to his job, sweeping blood off the floor at $1.70 a day, all day. He does all day long, is keep shoving hog blood ahead of him with a broom. All of these poems I'm reading to you, everything so far is public domain, so this can be shared, this can be played, everything. One of the paintings I did last night was about Rikers Island. And in Rikers Island right now, they have no soap. There are no wipes. There's no masks, gloves. Apparently the conditions have really deteriorated. There are people who are not getting their medications and acting out. So there's, feces and urine and infectious materials everywhere. And their lawyers aren't being allowed to speak with them. The courts are closed. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Rikers is a holding facility for people who have not yet been convicted. Something like 80% of the people there haven't been convicted of any crime. They're arrested on minor charges, misdemeanors, unpaid traffic tickets, having a dime bag, all of those sort of things. So Cuomo had talked about, changing Rikers a few years ago, but never did it. He decided not to do it. So Rikers is right now probably full of people infected and getting infected. It's pretty depressing. So I've been thinking a lot about Rikers. I did that painting of it, and I just yeah, Long Island. I mean, I know people in Rikers. I know people who are in there right now. We can't contact them. They can't get to a phone. There's one phone for hundreds of people, so they're all using the phone and passing. If anyone's sick, they're all sick at this point. The guards won't go in to clean because they're afraid to get infected. The lawyers can't go in. One of the doctors who worked there is infected. So they're losing medical workers and stuff. So anyway, I've just been thinking about Rikers, and it's and New York City, and the fact that New York City residents really kind of warned us about Trump. If you've ever lived in New York in the 90s, you knew what he was. And New York residents are trying to warn us now about Cuomo. These people look good, but New York has a history of all public servants, they like to be called, being totally corrupt. So that hasn't ended. And so anyway, a joke. So anyway, yeah, I want to read a poem from this is from 1920. And this is more Carl Sandburg, continuing with Carl Sandburg, and it's called Cahoots. And of course, this is when he was in New York. He went back and forth from Chicago to New York, and this is a New York poem. Cahoots. Play it across the table. What if we steal this city blind? If they want anything, let 'em nail it down. Harness bulls, dicks, front office men, and the high goats up on the bench. Aren't they all in cahoots? Ain't it 50-50 all down the line? Pete men, dips, boosters, stick-ups, and guns. What's to hinder? Go 50-50. If they nail you, call in a mouthpiece. Fix it, you gazump, you slant head, fix it, feed 'em. Nothing ever sticks to my fingers. Nah, nothing like that. But there ain't no law we gotta wear mittens. Is there? Mittens, that's a good one, mittens. There ought to be a law. Everybody wear mittens. If they want anything, let them nail it down. New York leadership. So, I'm very tired. I did do 3 18 by 24 paintings last night. And I'm kind of channeling, I'm just basically doing abstract expressionist stuff. I'm kind of just letting it pour out, and then when I'm done and I'm finished, I go and I look at the news and I see who the painting is about and what it's about from current events after I've done the art. I've been posting those every night, and I posted 3 today because I did 3 last night. I think tonight I'm taking the night off from the reading of the Camus book and from painting. I'm going to take a hot bath. I'm going to make some fat back with mac and cheese and shit and greens, and rest. And then I'll be back tomorrow, and I will pick up where we left off in part 2, right after the sort of religious trouble in the book The Plague, and read you guys a bedtime story again. So be safe, do what you can. If you know people who are incarcerated, try to add something to their commissary, a few bucks. They really need it right now. They need soap. They don't have soap, and they're making hand sanitizer for their prison labor. This is, y'all know I'm politically rabid, and so this is seriously draining to me to even be so angry for so long, so hard, with so much knowledge of what's going on. I'm sure y'all feel the same way. So try to take a few deep breaths, cold water on the face, something, I don't know. Write an angry rant, post it, try to find some links. I know the Sanders campaign is raising money for people who are affected. One of those campaigns, one of the things that he's raising money for is people who are incarcerated. So, and remember, a lot of them, they haven't been convicted of anything. They're in there for a misdemeanor and they can't get bailed out because there's no courts open. So those are important charities. Those are important things. If you go, I hate to be political, but if you go to the Bernie Sanders website, there's like a link of lists of organizations you can donate to if you have the cash. I know a lot of people don't. So be safe, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Sleep well, and stay inside. If you can't stay inside, wear a mask. Good night.